Shalom, call Halim La Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And it's sincere Shalom to 144,001 Now, as the many hopeful elect have done videos on a breakdown, including myself, on the beast in Babylon the Great, and we're starting to see the beast, which represents the revised Roman Empire, okay, that represents the Edomites' reign on the earth, spearheaded by Babylon the great whore. Okay, it was one of these Edomite rulers when they started. I believe it was the EU, or it was either NATO or the EU. I forget. And he said that this is Rome, like basically this is the pack of Rome all over again, or this is a pack of Rome. You can try to find that out. I believe it was the EU. And you can see here, okay, the philosophies of this devil, democracy, Roman Catholic Christianity, idolatry, okay, which goes into what? You got Caesar Borgia, you got these famous celebrities and politicians, you know, you got the Mo lifestyle, the alphabet lifestyle, all right, you got adultery, you got all this evil, all this wickedness, okay, and we can see here, okay, the original first 10 horns, which represents the EU, and then the EU was spearheaded by 10 countries, and now it's many more. The EU is, I don't know, at least 20 countries at this point. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but nonetheless, it started off as 10, which represents the 10 horns. All right. Then you got NATO, which you got Babylon and NATO. You got Canada. You got Turkey. So it's not exclusively Edomite only, since you got Turkey up in there. All right, because those lineage, you know, they're that's Gomer over there. All right, they're a different lineage than Esau, Edom. And then, of course, you got the UN, which represents the crowns, which aren't shown necessarily in this image. The crowns. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Okay, Revelations 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Now, this is representing the nations, all right, which is, you know, Esau, Ammon, Israel. You know, that's what the sea represents. Because the humanity is likened to water, all right? Let me see if I can get that. I'll get that scripture after I read this. Revelations 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. What is this referring to? This is referring to Esau's power coming into play, being established. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, which you see represented here on the screen. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Yeah, so the name of blasphemy is going against Yahweh, you know, establishing themselves as they're the Most High. Okay, and then the 10 crowns represents the United Nations, which has a lot of you know, the subjugation of the quote unquote third world countries and all these other heathen that are subjugated to Esau and whatever else, right? Let's get the point here about the nations being likened to water. This is Revelations, the 17th chapter, and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. There you go. And that whore is talking about what you see here on the screen. This so-called blonde-haired Edomite-looking woman with that cup, that golden cup. Verse 16. And the 10 horns, all right, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And that's going into the EU. And we see that now. They're not, Esau ain't rocking with Esau, the Babylonians. All right? Because they've been puffed up with more pride, because Babylon the Great is more mighty, more accomplished than these other Edomite countries. So they're jealous, they're envious, they're mad, they're angry. And now Esau, all right, the Babylonian Edomites, I should say, and the small hats in our land, they're getting reckless with the Strait of Hormuz and Iran. The other Edomites, they don't want no Article 5, right? Because Trump saying there's going to be an issue if the EU pretty much doesn't step in, because that's what he's really referring to. And we know that for a fact, because guess what? We know the scriptures. Now let's see if I can get that scripture that ties into these Edomites hating these Babylonian Edomites. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. Okay, this is Daniel, the 7th chapter. And Daniel saw this too. All right. This is Daniel, the 7th chapter, and verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, and even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. So that's going into when the Roman Empire started coming back, all right, through the Renaissance, in a true revamped Roman Empire is Babylon the Great. Of course, all the Edomites on the earth represent Rome, if you will, because Rome is just the kingdom of Esau, Edom. And the Edomites that established themselves and have control over Babylon the Great have far more superiority complex and whatnot. All right, his look was more stout than his fellows. Let's get the word stout. Let's see what the word stout means. I'm just going to read it. Now go into the actual translation in the Hebrew. Just get the definition of what stout means. And stout means great, figure of power, captain, chief. So these Babylonians, the whore that rides upon the beast, they're the captain, right? They're controlled. They're riding the beast. They're steering the beast. Okay, when you sit on a horse, a creature, all right, you steer it. It doesn't steer you. That's what this image represents right here. And guess what? They're gonna get tired. They already are. They saying they ain't gonna help Babylon. This is big moves, because if a NATO country is attacked, okay, they invoke Article 5. You had Article 5 was last invoked for at least America's sake with 9/11. Is Article 5 ever going to be evoked again? Probably not. You know, at least not in the favor of the small hats in Babylon the Great, because the beast shall hate the whore and burn her flesh with fire. They're going to shoot nukes, and we know that France just confirmed that they're going to make more nukes. So France got nukes and the UK got nukes, and hey, guess what? Them other EU countries, they can get nukes too. You know, they can get nukes. All right. North Korea, they got nukes. They gon' fire them. China, Russia, Pakistan. We know through prophecy, Iran and them Arabic countries, they gonna get nukes too. Who else? Of course, the ultimate nuke, all right, that's going to burn this place up is Russia, the chief prince. So this place is going downhill. Trump, them small hats, they made a bad move with NATO. I mean not NATO, with Iran, them Carmenians, I should say. Because guess what? No matter if this calms down or there's some, no, it doesn't matter, because we know that something's gonna happen where the those Carmenians and those other Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, they're gonna link up. Pakistan too, they gonna link up. India, China, they all gonna link up and they gonna nuke. They gonna slang them nukes, man. And some of them they gonna have boots on the ground. They gonna have an invasion of Babylon the Great. This is Revelation 17 and 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushai. When I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So, yeah, some of the hopeful they going to get put to death here, man. Okay. And Esau, he's going to have his laws put into place, or it could just be a lawless environment. You just screw it. Martial law, anything goes. When like the Constitution and all that is pretty much thrown out the window when martial law is in place. They can steal your land. They can steal everything you got. They can kill you. They can do whatever. Everything's legal. War crimes, all that is all fair game, man. This is I already read Revelation 17 and 16, so this is verse 17. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Yeah, Babylon the Great. And if you're under the assumption America isn't Babylon the Great, then who is? Who reigns on the earth? Who's the mother of harlots, right? We all know where feminism, all right, women's liberation, we all know where that sprung and grew and swelled and then encompassed the earth. We all know where that. Now, of course, the feminism type of mindset really started with Eve, and then, of course, more modern, it was the UK. But guess where it's swollen up and spread to the earth, right? The philosophy of adultery. Where Babylon the Great, the United States of America. No debate. What country's getting rich from shipping off people, from labor of people and the currency? Babylon the Great. There's no debate. So this place is through, man. Esau's reign is coming to an end, and we're seeing it. And guess what? We got the kingdom. Of course, it's gonna be a rough and tough road. But the elect, whether they're martyrs or not, going to make it through. Going to make it through. And we're going to be in the kingdom. Lord's, I don't want to write this out. Lord's will be part of the elect. We're going to make it to the kingdom. All right. All Israelites, of course, you want to be a part of the elect. Not non-elect. And we're seeing prophecy break out. We're seeing the beast hating the whore. We seen them Carmenians getting hyped up. We seen them so-called Arabs, okay? They getting hyped up. And guess what? They going to backstab these Edomites. Let's get that. What is that? Obadiah 1, Well, it's only one chapter, right? Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, so this, them Arabic countries, they're going to backstab Babylon the Great. They're going to they're going to turn it back. You know, they going to, you know, act like they with them, and then when the time is right, they're going to switch sides. They're going to go to Russia. They're going to go to Iran, however you pronounce it, them Elamites, all right, the Carmenians. They're gonna link up with the Carmenians. They're gonna link up with Russia, the chief prince, Moab. Yeah, I'm talking about Qatar, UAE, and Yemen, and whoever else. Okay, them Ishmaelite countries. So we're at the end, and it's gonna some more catastrophic stuff is gonna happen. You got don't forget the CBDC digital ID, you know, which goes into the MOTB, the CHIP. It's all coming to pass, man. Hey, with that, shalom.